Hi rock fans, hi everyone. Today I'm gonna do something a little bit special. I'm gonna choose my top 3 favorite years from the 60s. And I got this idea, maybe I could start a new series. Maybe I could do the same thing for the 70s, 80s, for each and every decade. I think I'm gonna choose my top 3 favorite years from each and every decade. It sounds like an interesting and entertaining idea for me. So for these videos, as I said, I'm gonna choose, of course, my top 3 favorite years plus 2 honorable mentions. Okay. So in that case, for the 60s, first of all, 1964, I think it was a very important year in rock music because the Beatles came in America. It was the British invasion. But this could be, of course, a very honorable mention, but I think it would be number 6 on my list at the moment. And I think the 2 years I would choose for number 5 and number 4. I think these years would be 1968, which could be number 5, and 1969, which could be number 4. Now, here are my official choices, my official top 3 years from the 60s. Okay, so at number 3, the year I'm gonna choose is 1966, and the music gained a lot of maturity in 1966, with albums like the Beatles, Revolver, of course, Bob Dylan, Blonde on Blonde, the Beach Boys, Pet Sounds, of course, what else? The Rolling Stones, Aftermath, a very, very good year. And there are also some other great albums, like The Birds, Fifth Dimension, The Kings, Face to Face, which is my favorite Kings album. The Mamas and the Papas, If You Can Believe Your Eyes and Ears. So this would be number 3, 1966 at number 3. Number 2, I don't know if maybe this could be a surprising choice, I don't know, but I think most of the people agree that it was a very good year, and the year in question that I'm gonna choose at number 2 is 1965, and I think 1965 was a pretty good year in rock music. We had a lot of rock bands from the UK, but from the US as well. First of all, we have the Beatles with Help. Some people are not too crazy about that album, but I think it's very underrated. They also released Rubber Soul, which is one of their best albums in my opinion. We also have albums like The Kings, Controversy, the Yardbirds with For Your Love, The Who also with their debut album My Generation, the Rolling Stones famous US version of Out of Our Heads. I always love this album, with its and goes like not My Generation, but Satisfaction, The Last Time, Play with Fire. I think this is a pretty good album. And as I said, the American artists did pretty well, in 1965. First of all, with Bob Dylan, Highway 61 Revisited, Bring It All Back Home, the Byrds' first 2 albums, Mr. Tambourine Man and Turn Turn Turn. And it was a great year, and this is number 2 on my list, 1965. And finally, at number 1, and this is such a logical choice for me, and I think this is probably the same thing for you. At number one for me is 1967. First of all, let's talk about that masterpiece, the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, one of the greatest rock albums of all time, the greatest in my opinion. We also have albums like Jimi Hendrix Are You Experience, one of the best debut rock albums of all time. We also have The Doors debut and self-titled album. The Doors, Strange Days. Pink Floyd, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn. The Who, Sell Out. The Byrds, Younger Than Yesterday, just to name a few. What a great year. And this is number one on my list, 1967. So that was it. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'd like to know what is your top 3 favorite years from the 60s, plus 2 honorable mentions. So thanks for watching, and see you for my next video.